Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, and the reason we're doing the Uncharted 3 review now is because on the 24th of the 11th, in my to-do list, I wrote down videos, reviews, Saints Row 3, Uncharted 3, Skyrim, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. That was a month ago. No, that was 2 months ago. We have not done one of them. So let's get started. Now, Uncharted 3, if I keep looking down, that's because where all my literature and notes are written, and there's no gameplay in this review, but you all know what Uncharted 3 plays like, and the reason there's no gameplay is while I can record it extremely easy with component cables, the location of the PlayStation and the HD PVR thing make it fucking almost impossible to switch the cables out, so I'm not doing it. Okay, so, keep looking down, you know why. Now, Uncharted 3 is an amazing game, there's no way around it. I gave it Game of the Year, and I still think that it deserves Game of the Year, but let's see what the review says. Okay, the amazing look and feel of the game is quite amazing. It is probably the best looking game on any console ever. The fire effects, all the effects, the sound effects, the way that the characters move, the way that the characters interact with each other are just outstanding, and I don't think it's ever been done any better. The best thing about Uncharted, the whole series, and I don't think anyone would ever argue with this, it's not the combat, it's not the gameplay, it's not the story, it's the characters. Nathan Drake, Elena, the interaction between those two in just stupid moments is unbelievably, it's done so well and it's amazing, and that is the best thing about Uncharted, the whole series, and that is true of the third one as well. Sully, Elena, Drake, Chloe, all these characters interact so well, and they're performed so well by the people who do the voice and motion capture. Like I said, the voice acting is perfect, the sound is perfect, the soundtrack is really good. It's really fitting to where you're going in the world. I can't even read my own writing. Oh, awesome story and moments. The story isn't as good as the second one, and it's more of a... So the main story, like what you're trying to do, but there's the sub-story of finding out who Nathan Drake is, what he's all about, how he met Sully, and why he does the things that he does. And there's a mission in the first hour of the game which is amazing. I'm not going to ruin it if you haven't played it, but the way that it's done is just so brilliant. And you find out all this about Nathan Drake, and it's just what I wanted to know, because coming into it I'm like, who's Nathan Drake? I don't understand in the first two, I don't know who he is, I don't know what he's about, and it does a pretty solid job of explaining that. There's a lot of collectibles in the game if you're into that kind of thing. Personally I'm not, but if you are, there are plenty of them. The platforming in the game is really well done, but it can be a little bit too easy. For instance, there could be a puzzle, and the answer to the puzzle, you push the back button and up this thing pops and the solution's right there. It can be a bit easy, but there's some that are pretty hard. There's one in a French castle, I think, that's pretty hard to do, but other than that, they're pretty simple. But it breaks up the combat, which is nice. The action is really well done. If anything, the combat is probably Uncharted's biggest downfall. It just feels a little bit off, especially the stealth sequences. It just gives me a button to crouch. I think the stealth has always been done wrong in Uncharted, and I don't think that that's been fixed in this one at all. It's tedious, it's annoying, and not only that, but I was playing on normal and I died a lot. The game is really hard, and it's not like, oh, I can do this better, or I can do that a different way. No, it's just kind of like, oh, that was crap. I think the best evidence of that is on the ship. You're in a ballroom, essentially. There's a piano here and like a theatre-y part, and there's guys that wear armour, and they're really hard to kill. And there's a guy in front of you with a grenade launcher, two guys with armour coming around, all the other guys are coming, and then they start spawning behind you. And it's just, oh, really, you're going to start doing that? There's other parts in Uncharted that is like that. There's one where you're in this big boat, graveyard kind of thing, and it kind of feels like that. But the villains are really good. I kind of have a thing for like, posh English villains, because I don't like, being Australian, it's not cool to like the English. So I do appreciate it. I think the voice acting is well done. I think they had a pretty good motive for doing what they were doing, and I just kind of liked it. The environments that you go to in the game are amazing. You're in a desert, then you're in a boat graveyard thing, and then you're in a boat that's going like this because you're in the ocean. Then you're in the ocean, and then you're in these ancient ruins, and it's just fun to be in those locales, and you feel like Indiana Jones essentially, and that's about it. The multiplayer is way too deep than it needs to be. Sure, there are going to be people playing it, but multiplayer, leave that to the Call of Duty and the Battlefield and the FIFAs or whatever. But it's really solid. For instance, there's a level where there's two trains on a track, or on two separate tracks, and they're going side by side, parallel to each other. and the enemy is on this train and you're on this train and you're fighting. It's just moments like that that are really amazing. But the customization of your character, you can create different loadouts. I just think it's way too deep than it needs to be. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just think, you know, it's a bit too deep than it needs to be. So overall, Uncharted 3, it's a great game. It's not as good as the second Uncharted going into it, but still, it's beautiful, it looks amazing, the soundtrack is awesome, the characters are the best by far of any game. You know, you couldn't argue that there are better characters in any other video game series than Nathan Drake, Elena, and Sully, and all the rest of them. Just the way that they're portrayed, the way that they communicate with each other, and just the little things that they do. So, you know, it's an amazing game that if you have a PlayStation 3 and you don't have, you're crazy, unless you just bought it for a Blu-ray player, which I will forgive you for that. But let's be honest, if you have a PlayStation 3 and don't have Uncharted 3, you're crazy. So here are the scores. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Au revoir.